I've received a question about a person that has a family member, a daughter, that would go on public platforms and talk against grace, against her parents, and how to deal with such in that situation. Now, I want to tell you, a public platform and correcting things like that is not going to be the answer. You know, and I believe that you already know. But what the question is about is, what about, you know, all the scriptures? Because in one of these posts, this lady came and said that, you know, there's so many verbs connected to what is written in the Bible, so how can we not do anything? I just think that there is, okay, and then when that question comes then to the heart of this person that asked the question is, how do we now deal with that? Basically, my daughter is against us and what we believe. They've put a question up on a public platform, and how do we answer that? Because, and what should we think about that? Because yes, there is so many verbs like wrestle, soldiers, army, or I mean verbs like wrestle, and then there is concepts like soldiers and army and resist and all those kind of things. When we talk about works, we are talking about fulfilling the works of the law in order to be saved. Now the Bible does say labor to enter into the rest. What is labor to enter into the rest is to make an effort not to live by your works, or by the works of the law, or by circumcision, or those kind of things, or to try and find life by what you do. So yes, there is a labor. I am laboring in the gospel. How am I laboring in the gospel? This is my labor. I make sure that I hear a good news message that can impact my heart, that I from my heart can live in the freedom Christ has given me, and so bear fruit. That is it. The labor is not to try and preach. The labor is not to try and build a studio. The labor is not to try and win souls. The labor is where I say, I make myself available for good news. That is the labor. How do we resist? Very simple. I'm not going to listen to anything that's not grace. That is the resisting. So if you are in a world where people only use work terms to live, and you come like Paul and he says, I become fleshly for you to communicate with you, then you're going to use the terms of this world to try and explain grace concepts. And if you use the terms of this world to try and explain something, and worldly examples to try and explain something, it doesn't mean that the example you use, or the concept you use whereby you want to explain another concept, is actually to be implemented. If I use army as an example, it doesn't mean that we must go and make war. What it means is the Bible talks about the armor, you know, and or the weapons of our warfare, spiritual armor, and it talks about the helmet of salvation, and that we must put it on. How do you put the helmet of salvation on? Very simple. You listen to a message wherein God assures your salvation, which would be salvation from death and sin, by His doing, and let it be so powerful, and let that be in your mind to protect your mind against any other lie which says God cannot save you from sin and death if you've done something wrong. Now, so if you want to know more about that, you can go and listen to a series I have on spiritual warfare, and that will really explain a lot to you. Thank you so much.